Okay, so again on the call we have Amanda from Tools2BFirst, Aladdin Furniture in Texas. We have Aimfinger Furniture, Austin's Couch Potatoes, and Kokona's Furniture. Did I miss anyone? Okay, so just want to go over the staff analysis tool with you. So we're currently supporting Profit and Myriad point-of-sale systems, and currently planning to next support FernServe. There's some additional work that we have to do with each client on FernServe in order to provide the support for this tool. But I want to go ahead and take an opportunity to review the tool since there's a lot of new information in it, and kind of go over with the clients. So we'll go through that. Okay, and feel free to interrupt me with any questions. So we'll go through an actual live example. So I'm just pulling up a spreadsheet now. This is our staff analysis tool, and so this tool is being released every week on Mondays, and there'll be a PDF that should be emailed to you on Mondays, and then the Excel version that we're going through today is actually placed out on the Google Drive. We created a new folder called Staff Analysis, and so again, the Excel version will be placed on the Google Drive for you to take a look at and view and use in your different stores. And currently, the way we have the email distribution set up for each client is based on if you're getting the current sales tools, you will also get the staff analysis tool. So if there's any changes that you would like for us to make as far as the email distribution, just let us know, and we can add or remove people to this staff analysis tool. So again, well, a lot of information here, a lot of tabs at the bottom you can see. So we'll kind of start in the far left and kind of work our way across. And so with this tool, like I said, it's going to be delivered every Monday. And the time period that we look at is actually, in this case, we're looking at March 1st of 2017 to March 11th of 2018. So this is actually generated on Monday, March 12th this week. And so we look at a full year, but we always start the time period on the first day of a month. So in this case, we're looking at March 1st of 2017. So this first summary tab is just basically overall some of the key metrics, all at the salesperson level. And it's, again, based on written business. So we're looking at written sales. We look at margin percent in column C. Average sale information, percentage of sales that each salesperson is accounted for. Again, keep in mind it's over that full year period of time. We also look at their margin contribution to the business. We look at overall number of tickets. If you have a UPS system that you're using, we'd actually pull in the UPS information and calculate the success rate. So this is some of the same or similar metrics that we have in the standard sales tools that we provide today, at least on this first tab. And then we'll get into some protection metrics in columns J, K, L. You can see their protection dollars, percentage of tickets with protection, and then overall percentage of sales with protection dollars. Okay. And then a couple of delivery metrics in columns M, N, O, P, and Q. You can see delivery dollars, percentage of tickets with delivery, sales. Delivery dollars is a percentage of total sales. We also track number of free delivery tickets, and then percentage of free delivery. And then accessories. So looking at, again, percentage of total sales with in accessory category. And then the last column is the email. So again, how often each salesperson is able to collect emails on a percentage basis. Okay. So all this information is going to be sorted on written sales. So in our case, this is why Tim is at the top here. And then you'll notice also at the in rows 3, 4, and 5, we have basically a capability to filter on certain dates. So again, if you wanted to just look at, for example, the month of March of 2018, you could come here and just select those dates, or look at February and March, you can do that as well. The one thing that we are that's under development now is actually add some capability to add a month in here. So, for example, instead of collecting or selecting all 11 days for March one at a time, we'll actually have a March 2018 option to make it much easier to, again, maybe you're not interested in looking at the full year. Maybe you're interested just looking at the last 3 months. This will give you the capability to do that. So that's something that that we're currently working on adding as an enhancement to this tool. We also have a filter by profit center, and then you can also filter if you want to just look at certain sales specialists. You can as well. Okay. So any questions on this tab? Pretty straightforward. Just kind of the key metrics at the sales specialist level. The next tab over, I'll make this a little bit larger so you can see here. So just a simple graph looking at overall total sales over that 1 year period. Again, sorted from high to low. Again, Tim is on the far left there. Again, you also can, at the top, you'll notice that this will be throughout this tool on these charts. We call them pivot charts because you have options to filter. You'll see the gray boxes at the top of the chart. So again, if you want to just look at a certain date, you could select those dates there, profit center, and then even if you want to just look at, let's see, I'll just select a couple here to see. I have no idea what their sales are at, but we can just do here. Yeah, those didn't. They're much smaller sales. But the idea is you can select certain sales specialists, and it would just populate the chart based on what you selected there. The next one over is average sale. So again, just taking the information from the tool in or the summary on the sum tab and just looking at average sale. So you can see, obviously, the folks like Dennis here and Jennifer and Trent stand out. But again, it's going to be sorted. You can see in the title of the graph, it's going to be sorted by sales dollars. So in your case, your top salesperson will always be on the left unless you filter that person out of the graph. In this particular case, the Dennis and Jennifer are both in the flooring department, so thus they have a higher average sale than most of the other folks that sell primarily mattresses and furniture. Okay. Again, you'll notice the filters at the top, filter by sell date, profit center, and sales specialist. Okay. You can kind of see from a visual standpoint what are folks that have a higher average sale side by side versus others. And then we'll get into margin percent. So again, always with the top salesperson on the left based on total written sales. Again, you can see folks that you can see the range of margin across the sales specialist. Again, when you start to get to the far right, there's a lot of, obviously, 90% or above. Again, those are, folks that maybe have, much smaller total written sales compared to the folks on the left side of the chart. So, again, if in your organization, if you know that that's the case, you can basically filter those sales specialists out and look at your maybe top 10 sales folks. And then email percent, again, just looking at how often each sales specialist is able to collect emails on a percentage basis. Okay. So again, with this, obviously, again, just focusing on the left side of this chart, I'll try to, for example, Joel is here at about over 70%. So Jeremy's also doing good, above 60%. So maybe try and understand what those two are doing from what their process is for collecting customer emails versus some of the others, and maybe it's again a coaching opportunity for folks that maybe like Tim is maybe 30%, or Judy or Derek is around 25% or so. So again, just highlight some coaching opportunities at the sales specialist level. All right, then we'll get into the fun stuff, looking at sales by specialists by category. In this case, it's always going to default with this view on this table. It's always going to default to the top 5 sales specialists. Again, you have the option in these rows 2 through 5 to look at certain dates, certain profit centers. You can also look at certain category or even look at certain sales specialists. But it is going to default to the top 5 sales specialists. So a lot of numbers here to look at. In most cases, it's just easier to go to the tab to the right, which is the sales percentage by category chart. Okay. So in this case, what the chart is going to graph your top 10 sales folks based on these categories. So if you look here, I have obviously mattresses, motion, upholstery, bedroom, and recliners selected. And then there should be 10 total sales specialists at the bottom. So clearly you can see who our sales specialists are for mattresses. See Nick, Mike, Rich, and then Becky. Those are, I see, 90% plus. So that's basically saying 90% of their sales are for mattresses in the mattress category. But again, you can look at, for example, on the far left, Tim, very strong in the motion. 55% of his sales among those 5 categories are in motion, versus obviously much lower on mattresses. Upholstery is around 20%. Again, you can hover over the bars; it'll tell you the percentages. Okay. And then, again, you can look at, for example, Judy, very strong in upholstery, 51%, but much lower in motion. Okay. Again, we're looking at those categories. If we want to add in, or say, look at just bedroom and dining, and we'll just say accessories. Okay. So now you can see the chart changed. Still looking at the top 10, but now Tim was number 1 on the previous chart when we had included motion and mattresses, for example. Now we're just looking at bedroom, dining, and accessories. So it's going to graph your top 10 sales specialists based on those 3 categories: bedroom, dining, and accessories. Okay. So in most cases, most people do more bedroom as a percentage of sales versus dining. You can see a few that are close. Joe on the far right, as well as Joel, the second from the left. Pretty even between bedroom and dining sales. Again, just keep in mind these are pivot charts, so you have the option to filter or sort, or basically filter on these different categories at the top, whether it's sale date or profit center category or sales specialist. Any questions so far?
No.
No. Okay. All right, I'll keep going here. Next is we're going to get into the vendor level. So again, similar to the category table we had before, now we're just breaking it down by vendor. So again, at the top you'll have the sell date filter, you have the specialist, category, vendor, profit center, and so on. And then basically the table is just going to list all the sales specialists, the vendors that they sell, the sales margin, percentage of tickets, and so on. So this first column is mattresses, F, G, and H are motion, and so on. Again, a lot of information here. If you have maybe a certain crew or from a sales specialist, if you want to just look at a few sales specialists, then this may be good to just filter on or select a certain number of sales specialists you want to take a closer look at. The other option, again, is just to go to the chart here. And let me just pull up an example here. Look at mattresses as an example. Okay. So again, it's going to chart the top 10 mattress specialists, basically, because that's the category that I selected. And then now obviously we're looking at the vendor level. So you can see the blue is Serta, the orange is Sealy, gray is temper, and so on. And so most cases you can see that at least Mike and Rich on the far left, they like Serta. They're selling more Serta than the other brands. Same case with Mindy, Joel, Jeremy on the right. And also it looks like employees like Serta as well. And also you look in the middle, Sealy is higher for Becky, Jeff, and Charles. So they tend to gravitate towards selling more Sealy than the other vendors. And then you can see here with Nick, the third left, he sells a higher percentage of Tempur-Pedic. So again, it's just maybe how each sales specialist feels comfortable selling is what this is telling you. And then again, maybe trying to dig into this further to understand why, what is it about, Nick that he sells more Tempur-Pedic than the other vendors? Why does Becky sell more Sealy than Serta? So those, trying to, this is kind of the first level. Now it's time to dig in and really talk to the sales specialist and understand, based on what the data is telling them. Okay. Again, keep in mind we're looking at over a full year period too, so it's a pretty sizable amount of information. We'll look at let's look at one other category just as an example here. Okay. Now we'll look into upholstery. So again, the top 10 upholstery sales specialists. You can see Judy again likes Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. Jeremy is strong at Ashley. So is Chase and Lori on the kind of towards the right there. And then Dolores is a big fan of Smith Brothers. 44% of her sales are in Smith Brothers. Okay. So that's the idea on really drilling down into the vendor information. Okay. And then the next one is similar data now. Basically, this is looking at the top 5. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh, really?
Okay. So this is just a graph of your top 5 vendors. Again, so within that vendor is just telling you who sells what's the range of percentage of sales. So, for example, if you look on the far left, Ashley basically is saying that Jeremy, of these 10 sales specialists, Jeremy accounts for 25% of all of Ashley's sales at this store. Okay. And then Flex Steel, you can see Tim, 33% of total Flex Steel sales are coming from, are being accounted for by Tim, basically is what that's saying. And then with Sealy as an example, 32% of all sales for Sealy are being accounted for by Becky. Okay. So again, really gives you, before we had the visibility into looking at some of the top level metrics at the sales specialist level, looking at like sales, average sale, margin, et cetera. But now we're really taking it to the next level. So really giving you visibility into what the what sales by category by sales specialists to really understand what are the strengths. What do they feel? What are they strong in selling from a category standpoint, as well as maybe opportunities that they could try to bring up the percentages, and maybe areas that they're not selling as much in. And also with the case of vendors, really understanding what vendors that the sales specialists feel more comfortable selling, or do they sell pretty even across the vendors within a category. So that's the type of information that will be provided in this staff analysis tool. And then the final tab is the specialist trends. So in this case, we're just looking at one sales specialist, Tim in this case. Again, we're going back to March, and there's some data in February of 2017. Maybe that was when some of the sales were actually written. But you can kind of see overall he's pretty flat as far as the sales month to month. There are a couple exceptions. You can see very strong in April, And then November, also a very strong month. Again, we have the, let's see, we'll look at Becky and Judy maybe here, and look at one other one. Okay. So now we look at all 4 sales specialists, Tim, Judy, Rich, and Dolores. Kind of see what their trends are kind of over a monthly basis, written sales. And then also you have the option to look at, for example, we'll pick upholstery or motion. We'll stay with motion. Okay. So again, just pointing out, in this case, Tim is selling a lot of motion versus at least these 3 other sales specialists. That's what that's saying. Again, just gives you the capability to sort or filter on a certain category or multiple categories if you like. And then I'll look at, I think, accessories, maybe one here. Yeah. So Judy is a lot more accessories than Tim, obviously, as well as Dolores. All right, so that is the staff analysis tool. So again, like I said, this one will be delivered every Monday to you, and both it will be emailed in a PDF, and then the Excel version will be placed on the Google Drive for you in the staff analysis folder. So hopefully this tool will be helpful and of value to you and your sales teams to really have some coaching opportunities with your sales specialists to really dig into the information and try to grow the sales specialists, understand what they're strong at and what are some opportunities. Are there any other questions?
No, very good.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Yep.
Okay. I've obviously recorded here, so I'll be able to send a link out to everyone tomorrow once I have that link, so you can pass it on to the rest of your folks that weren't able to attend. And appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good rest of the day. Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.